Hello everyone, I am Jotte de Koning from the Delft University of Technology. I am a design researcher specialized in sustainability transitions. And in this video, I will give an overview of a basic design process and why that is useful for transitions. To start you off, transitions are long-term change processes on different levels. And long-term really means 20 to 50 years. The basic design cycle or process is based on our teaching in Delft, at the Faculty of Industrial Design Engineering at the Technical University here in Delft. At this faculty, we teach bachelor and master students about design. And traditionally, teaching design was about new products such as vacuum cleaners that you can see here on the image. And to come to new ideas for products, such as a vacuum cleaner, you do not only need creative and drawing skills, but also good analytical skills and a very good understanding of the people that will use the product. So in recent years, our teaching of design has broadened. Nowadays, we teach students to use a design process, not only for products, but also for the design of new services and system change for the future, for these transitions, such as a more sustainable healthcare system. To design change that can support long-term sustainability transitions, you still have to understand the products that are used in a system. However, besides understanding the direct users of products, you also have to understand the wider system these products are used in, the services and system around them, as well as the organizations involved in the system. This to not design products and services that can potentially have non-sustainable effects somewhere else in the system or further in the future. So, to come to a new proposal to change the healthcare system to a more sustainable one, you can follow a basic design process. The basic design process is cyclical. It means you go through the different activities several times. In a design process, we identify 4 activities of experiencing, reflection, analysis, and synthesis. I will now guide you through these 4 steps one by one. But again, these steps are done multiple times in a design process, and you come to a better design proposal with every cycle you do. So, the first design activity is experiencing the current system. This is done to get an in-depth understanding of the system, such as, for example, the waste separation system in a hospital. In the experience phase, you do, for example, observations, interviews, desk research, and site visits. You experience the system. After that, you can go to the next activities. And maybe you realize that you have to go back to get more information for a better understanding. Therefore, again, the process is cyclical. In experiencing the system, it is important to look at the whole cycle. So from production to the use phase and to what happens afterwards, reuse, recycle, or disposal. You have to do this over the whole life cycle to try to understand the sustainability issues for the people involved, sustainability issues for the planet, but also in the economic and business models around them. A way to document the insights from the experience phase can be visual mapping. Visual mapping allows for a good overview and a relational way of thinking. In another video of this course, you will learn more about this. Then this is the starting point for the next activity, reflection. The reflection phase is about identifying where things need to be changed, what is wrong in the system, and what needs to be improved. It's not yet about the actual improvement. Visual mapping and environmental hotspot mapping can help in identifying pain points in the system. After that, third, there is the activity of formulating objectives towards the future. And this is an activity that you do based on the gathered information in the experience activity and the pain points identified in reflection. By a deep understanding of the system, such as the waste separation system in a hospital, you then formulate objectives for change. Again, with the example of waste separation, the objectives can be less waste, or less plastic waste, or cleaner waste streams, or less waste in a certain department or moment of time. If you have formulated your objectives for the future, for example, in 5 years we want a hospital with only 50% of the plastic waste from the surgery department. If you've done that, you try to understand if you have the needed competencies to fulfill this objective. And then fourth is the activity of synthesis. This is the proposal of changes and products or services that can help achieve the objectives, or in other words, the design. You can think of new circular product designs or product service systems, but also other designs for a transition that can contribute to long-term systemic change. In order to come to new ideas for how to achieve the objective, the change, you also use many iterations in the synthesis, but also different forms. You can sketch, prototype, and build mock-ups. Mock-ups are little tryouts of what things could look like or could be. Finally, in the design process, it is important to think both about what can be changed now and what can be changed towards the long term. And the challenge is to design for short-term change that can contribute to long-term sustainability change in the future, the transition. This is also referred to as two-track thinking. So, to wrap up, there is understanding and experience, and this is about understanding the current situation. To do this, you engage with multiple stakeholders for a complete understanding of a transition of the system. There you use co-creation, participatory design, etc. Second, there is the reflection and value judgment activity. This is used to identify pain points in the whole system and the entire life cycle of products and services. Here it is important to think in systems rather than in single products or services. Third, there is the activity of formulating objectives for future design. Think about objectives for now and the far future. And make sure you seek the needed competences to fulfill these objectives. For example, competencies about materials, resources, production methods, business models, etc. Finally, there is synthesis. Synthesis is a process to come to a new design proposal. In this activity, it is important to iterate and prototype, and use again this two-track thinking, design for the short term and the long term. In this synthesis design phase, you can make use of circular product design, product service systems, or systemic design. This was the video on the basic design cycle. Thanks for watching.